becomes a little more portable. He can travel anywhere. I think it's a real concern for the Cleveland Browns in delivering the football to the right guy. The right guy is OBJ.
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Max. We are presented by Progressive Insurance, and all guests join on the Goodyear Hotline. All right. So we're asking on the Dr. Pepper call-in line, by the way, 888-SAY-ESPN, 729-3776. Which NFL team needs a win most in Week 6? Browns got a big game, and they could use a win. I would say they could use. I don't know if they need it. They could definitely use it.
I feel like Baker needs it in OBJ.
They absolutely need it.
I mean, it's still early, but Baltimore is looking good.
They're not the type of team that could keep piling up losses and bounce back from it.
Well, they got to. I mean, it's a big. Listen, they're playing the only undefeated team in the league. They're playing your favorite offense, the air raid system, Key, and as you always say, that's unstoppable, especially when they don't run the ball, right? So it's a big test, but the Browns do run the ball real well. I mean, that's a great game. You just heard about Odell Beckham. Here is Odell yesterday. Let's see if you think he wants the damn ball. Let's hear.
I can't sit there and lie like I don't want the ball. Like I tell you, every time I get up here, they don't pay James Harden for defense. You know what I mean? He's a shooter. Like I feel like I'm a shooter, you know. I know that I bring a lot of attention to defenses on the other end, and other people are going to be open. And, you just got to live with that. The ultimate goal is to win the championship, and I feel like I'm in a great situation to do that.
Yes,
what do you hear
he
there,
He is
Keith?
a great situation to do it, but they got to get him the football. It's the bottom line. They're not going to be successful if they don't get him the ball. And you cannot have Odell Beckham in a game and only get 3 targets. Just that doesn't work. I was at the Charger game. They've got to figure out how to utilize this man. This man is terrific. He's healthy. He's done everything to get back on track. He's a baller, and I'm going to fight the battle for him. He doesn't need to fight it to have people take shots at him. I'll do it for him. They got to get him the damn ball. They got to make him a part of their offense. And if you don't make him a part of the offense, we'll be talking about something different next week. Mark my words.
Yeah,
if they don't get him the ball, we'll be talking about something different next week, Jay.
Yeah, you got to move them. Either you. And by the way, if you don't get him the ball, then everyone else should be open. Then you should be moving the ball up and down the field, or you should get him the ball, or you should trade him if the quarterback doesn't have any chemistry with him. Jay,
that's why this week is a really big week, just like Key just said. Because if I don't get the damn ball this week, or if I'm not targeted, then there are going to be conversations that are going to be becoming more apparent that this is not where I need to be. November 2nd trade deadline, Key, I'm going to start pushing for that.
Yeah.
I have a stat for you, kid. I just want you to react to, okay? Because 2 receptions, 20 yards in the game versus the Chargers, okay? Beckham's 20 receiving yards marked the 7th time that he and Baker Mayfield have been in the 20s in their 26 games together, once every 3.5 games. For comparison's sake, Beckham was in the 20s only 3 times in his 59 games in New York.
With an old quarterback and no O-line.
59 games, only 3 times.
Well, one of the problems with Baker Mayfield in OBJ now, not a year ago or any, I'm talking about like right now, is there's so many people out there that don't understand or know football that are on these platforms talking. And Baker Mayfield is paying attention to that. In his mind, he's thinking, I'm locking on to OBJ so much because everybody's saying that, when that is not really the case. And so what he wants to try and prove to people is, I can be a top-notch quarterback without utilizing my main target. And so rather than look at number 13 and force 13 the ball, he's getting off of him without the plays fully developing. So I was able to take note of that and watching that by being at the Charger game. And then having a private conversation with an individual or two post-Charger game. And these are the same things that they've kind of already told Baker Mayfield. You're getting off of him too early. You're getting off of him too early. Stay with it. But he's out there listening to people. And I know how it sounds. and he shouldn't be doing that. He should just not worry about that. Don't channel that noise. Block it out, and he will become a fabulous quarterback. But when you have a number one wide receiver and you decide, okay, I'm going to scan the field, but when I get to his side, I'm going to look over him and try and throw the ball to somebody else to have success. Therefore, you will not have success. Therefore, you will not get the money that you're looking for. Therefore, it will be another quarterback in that position if you don't decide to start utilizing this individual. The plays are being called for OBJ to be in the progression. Baker Mayfield is taking him out of the progression because of that.
So Kevin Stefanski said the other day, the head coach for the Cleveland Browns, that sometimes the defense dictates the ball go elsewhere. And I'm sitting there saying,
absolutely,
I hear that. That sounds reasonable, but I don't see that.
No, when
for,
game
I
after
don't see
game,
that.
the targets are that low.
I don't see that when I watch Arizona and I see how they play. I don't see that when I watch Stephon Diggs, right? It's Stephon Diggs, and when I watch, the way Josh Allen plays,
100%.
like I see the best players getting the ball in the biggest moments.
And here's the bottom line.
I don't see that in Cleveland.
Here's the bottom line. When you look at raw talent, I think Baker Mayfield's a good quarterback, right? And you can probably win a Super Bowl with him. But he's not Josh Allen. He's not Justin Herbert. He's not Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, maybe not Joe Burrow. Let's see. He's in a conference with so many outstanding young and ascending quarterbacks. You know who has enough dynamism, who's dynamic enough in his game to elevate Baker? It's Odell. Otherwise, you're a little one-dimensional. If you use your most dynamic weapon at receiver properly, now maybe that levels the playing field.
You mean like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase?
Yes. That's such a good example.
Jamar Chase's first year in
That's
the league, they have
key.
better chemistry than Baker Mayfield and OBJ?
Key,
How is
that's
that possible?
chemistry. I see a chemistry issue with these two guys. Jamar Chase has chemistry
It's
or
not
vice versa
a
with Burrow.
It's not a chemistry issue. That's not the issue. The issue is, I just said it. Baker Mayfield is paying attention to the noise outside the building. And so therefore, he's trying to prove a point that he's just going to be a quarterback.
I hear you.
When you listen to him in his press conference, after games, he's talking about, I'm just going through my progressions. I'm doing this. That's a deflection. When you are the number one target on a team, which OBJ is, he is the first progression in almost every single pass play that the Cleveland Browns are putting in. But when you don't look at him because you just don't want to, and you decide that you want to throw the ball down the field to other people late in games. So let's be clear here. We're not talking about Baker Mayfield being a bad quarterback, because Baker Mayfield is a really good quarterback. The last several minutes of the game is where Baker Mayfield struggles because he does not utilize the weapon in number 13. Let me bring you inside of a coaching room in a coaching office. They're going to tell the quarterback, hey, number 19, no matter what it is, you got to get him the football.
Yep.
I don't care.
No,
you got to get him the ball.
I hear you, but it's not like that happened over time. They never had chemistry from day one. I don't think these two ideas are mutually exclusive. They can both be true. The Browns need Odell Beckham Jr. and Baker Mayfield to get in the zone.
Okay, you must have been talking to Jay recently.
Get in the zone is brought to you by AutoZone. Why is that?
Two things can be true at the same time.
That's true. Get in the zone, AutoZone. All right. Then there's another quarterback in the AFC North.
A frog already?
Who seems to have zero issues this season, and one expert says that makes him another quarterback in the NFC North, the AFC North, the best quarterback in the NFL, period, right now. That's next. Keyshawn J. Willimax, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, the ESPN app.
Is Patrick Mahomes still the best quarterback in the NFL?
He isn't playing the best.